It's 38,000 weekday boardings a year, which makes it the most successful new light rail line in the United States, and only a little bit behind Boston's Green Line, which is 100 years old and has a commuter line feeding it. So this is where we were going. We were going to connect all these things together here. During the last 10 years, from the time the rail line was announced, this is property values in Midtown. What happened? That nothing like this happened anywhere else in the region, only near the rail line. So that's a big deal, but it has a lot to do with taxes, property taxes and feeding and the city's tax base growing. This is the whole red line, the Main Street line, and it was a 63% increase in property values, $4 billion worth. Just to compare that, the return on investment is 11 to 1. And in Discovery Green, which is hugely successful, was 2.67 to 1. So the most successful thing we've done to improve property values has been the light rail line. And then this is the urban core. This is what we've been talking about for a long time. This is downtown, the medical center, Greenway Plaza, and the Uptown Galleria area. And we view that as the urban core. There's lots and lots of density in terms of residential all around here. So the point would be to get those connected. That was what the plan was for 2012, and now we will see. Now this is what we're going to wind up with. These are going to be disconnected. The struggle to do something here, the University line it's called, and it looks like we will have a bus rapid transit line up and down in West South, but not connected to the rest of the system. So this gets to be a very interesting equity thing, because these lines are all going into low-income neighborhoods. And so there's going to be a lot of businesses there. There's going to be a lot of development there. There's going to be a lot of economic growth there. I don't think anybody actually intended that that would be the only place we'd have urbanism, but it might be. And then finally, this is the baseline system plan. Can't explain what those white lines are, sorry. Well, the baseline system plan that came out at HJC's commuter rail study a few years back. If you put those lines onto that map with all the dots, you see that it kind of doesn't connect a whole bunch of places together. And it's a $3 billion project, and I think the last numbers I saw was for about 50,000 riders, a little bit more than the light rail line on Main Street. We argue that this is the incredible public infrastructure we have. We own, the public owns this. Now, some of it's TxDOT, some of it's the city, some of it's Harris County, and so forth. But this is our public infrastructure, and this is why all these places happened, because this stuff connected everything together. So we're arguing that that's probably where we ought to be thinking about having a transit system in that infrastructure. And as you see, connects everything except the medical center, which just isn't on a highway, but it's close enough. And that much of it is already done. It's HOV lanes, and so we're now doing that kind of, to some degree, service in those HOV lanes. And why that's important is this bus right here has maybe 44 people, let's say it's that bus, 44 people in it. There's 44 people in all these cars. So if you want to know about how you can increase the capacity of a highway, that's how you can increase the capacity of a highway. Adding lanes to put more cars in, we all can see doesn't really work. The Katy Freeway is catching up to its old congestion already. And then finally, this interesting thing that my son Jay's been working on, showing that over time, in the region we're spending this kind of money on roads and this kind of money on transit. We diverged somewhere back in here just last year, really, to start to go in this direction. And so we're thinking that may be a problem. But there you go. And then finally, this is the dark colors. The darker the color, the more money there is in that census tract. And the lighter the color, the less money is. So, the essential fairness and equity question really revolves around this map. If you look at education, or lack of it, and so forth, you see almost the same map. And there's several other things having to do with seniors and so forth. So the big question is, do we spend money out here where we've already spent a lot of money, or what happens to all these folks in here? And as a very last thing, we have an opportunity to connect ourselves to Dallas with high-speed rail. This is the Dallas area, and this is us in terms of the gross domestic product and why you would think of making that connection, because they're so big in the United States. It's a massive pairing. And it will be something like this. It will just go pretty straight, I suspect. But will this happen if there's no regional rail infrastructure? I was involved early on when Central Japan Railways came here, and their constant supposition was that there would be the light rail system in place to meet people getting off the train. That won't happen now, so I'm not sure what that means, and so I'm finished. There you go. Okay. So I believe our next speaker is Jeff Table. I hope.